Hello, everybody. This is Gregory with 5-Minute Catholic Apologetics, where 5 minutes of your time may get you to the divine. Today, we're going to talk about and refute the idea that the mission system was egregious and bad for Indians. Now, before we begin, let's start with a prayer. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritui Sancti. Amen. Gloria Patri et Filii et Spiritui Sancto, sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper et saecula saeculorum. Amen. All right, so today we're going to talk about the mission system. I think this is important, especially if you live in Texas or California, or if you're in academia or your kids are in academia. We certainly know that the cultural Marxists are spinning their revisionist history very potently against people like St. Junipero Serra and others alike. And I think it's important to kind of cover this topic because you hear so many lies told about it. Now, look, to be fair, I was getting my doctorate at UT Austin in colonial Latin American history, so I am pretty knowledgeable on this. And let me tell you, when I was there, I mean, I was surrounded by Marxists. I mean, the whole department is essentially Marxist. I'll have the token conservative who's like 90 years old and is about to retire, but it's all Marxist, and even they will concede these points, albeit they'll obfuscate some stuff about it. But look, okay, so what do we know? We know that when the New World was discovered by Columbus, another poor victim of revisionist history, but maybe that's a separate topic. We know that the church and the colonial kingdoms such as Spain and Portugal, for example, let's focus mostly on them, they saw all these new souls. And what else did they see when they colonized Mexico and later moved up toward present-day America, toward Texas and certainly California? And then you could talk about the Jesuits over in South America and their roles. They saw a lot of famine. They saw a lot of pestilence. They saw a lot of internecine warfare among the different Indian tribes. And of course, they saw souls that needed to be saved. And this is really important. And I think we can look back with presentism and look back and not really understand that milieu, that environment at the time. Yes, were there some unscrupulous conquistadors who wanted to become famous or to get rich from it? Certainly. All right. Well, we'll talk about this at the end. But as a whole, the goal was to baptize souls. It was to baptize souls. And this is the way we certainly used to be. I mean, contemporaries at this time would be someone like Francis Xavier and what he was doing in the East. But this is how we were. We would colonize, but then bring the missionary zeal to convert these people into Christianity. So look, at the time, you saw a lot of Native Americans who didn't know how to take care of themselves. They didn't know how to support themselves. And there was constant marauders. Texas, where I live, you can go to San Antonio. There's like 4 or 5 missions, and a couple of them are very well intact. Mission San Jose is very well intact, and it has the old wall. So what did those missionaries do, either Jesuit or Franciscan? What did they do? They taught the Indians how to work the land. They taught them how to fend for themselves. They taught them basic skills. They taught them Spanish. And of course, they taught them basic catechesis. And yes, they baptized them and gave them the sacraments because that's what their job was as missionaries. And look, later on, once they became more acculturated, the Spanish crown gave them land nearby the missions. And so when marauders came, like the Comanche and the Apache, they'd come in, all the Indians would come behind the walled fort of the mission and get protected. So understand that the church gave these people skills and they protected them. You know, you hear this radical leftist view that there was just a lot of rape and proselytizing and all this stuff. And look, were there examples of bad men who did bad things to bad people? Fill in the blank any decade of any century of any millennia in human history, and you will find that. Do we throw out big pharma when there's a pill like Vioxx that killed 50,000 people? Do we throw out all hospitals because there's one bad doctor? No. Man is fallen. And yes, of course, there were bad people that did bad things. But as a whole, the mission system was very good and served these Indians with benign and altruistic reasons. It wasn't all like curling your mustache and let's manipulate and exploit these people. It was not like that at all. Our job was to serve them and to baptize and catechize them. And look, slavery, the church has never supported slavery. You can find promulgations from different popes throughout the centuries banning the transatlantic slave trade and other things like that. Doesn't mean people listen. Clearly, I mean, look at our president right now. The church has been solidly pro-life since time immemorial. He's not listening. So the church, you can't blame the church if there's bad men who do bad things or bad women as well. They're not heeding the gospel. They're not heeding the vicar of Christ and the teachings. So you don't throw out the whole mission system and malign Junipero Serra as this horrible bad man because of a couple of bad apples. This is straw man arguments to the core. Overall, the mission system was good for Indians, and we'll just end it there. Guys, post in the comments. Let me know what you think. If you agree or disagree, of course, always do it in charity. Please hit the notification, subscribe, and share button. Share with like-minded people. Until next time, take care, God bless, and pray.